Well, if you just finished, well, you probably didn't just finish watching, but if you watched yesterday's game or earlier today's game, that highlight you just seen is probably about the best of it, right, Vin?
Well, yeah, we just showed C.J. Spiller run here on the bottom of the screen. You see Fitzpatrick running for his life. It looks like they have the screen set up. CJ's trying to do the tightrope down the line. He steps out at the 19. Too bad he stepped out there. Maybe we get the ball down to the 7. We score a touchdown. But still, you lose 21-9. You need a couple more touchdowns. We got inside the 20-yard line 4 times. One, he missed the field goal to start off his first kick, and then he kicked 3 field goals. But if we get 3 touchdowns there, it's 21-21, and it's a ball game, and who knows? But that's the sign of a bad team. You know, they don't make those 3 touchdowns.
Sure, no, they're terrible.
The other team rushes it down our throat. You know, I was thinking when they had the ball at the end, it reminded me of when Jim Kelly and the boys, keep going back to that, it's pretty sad, but used to just, with the 5 minutes left in the clock, you grind it out. You might hit a couple of short passes in there to keep them honest, but you grind
the Texans,
it down the
you
field.
mean?
Yeah,
the Texans looked like the Bills
the old
used
Bills,
to look.
yeah,
sure,
at the end of the game. And the week before, the Bills had the 3-point lead with like 3 minutes left in the game, and Fitzpatrick throws an interception. Instead of just grinding the ball down the field and running those 3 minutes out, we gave him the ball back at the end. And
he fumbled.
Well, no, it was an interception.
Did he throw a pick too?
Yeah, with like 3 minutes left, he threw it. No, I'm talking last week against the
Giants. Last week. Oh,
I'm saying what you need to win a game is when you have the lead is to be able to grind the ball out. And now, I mean, if you think about what the Bills did, now they get the ball with 3 minutes left.
Yeah, he throws 4 minutes left. Sure.
2 4-yard passes again, and then he runs for a first down, which is good. And then the next time, there's 30 seconds left. Not that the game mattered; the game was out of reach anyways. But he tries to run with it again, and he fumbles, and that's where Fitzpatrick fumbled.
Right. Well, what we learned? We've learned in these past 8 or 9 weeks, we've learned that Fitzpatrick cannot throw the ball more than 10 yards. So defenses only need to crowd that 10. 8 yard, you put the safety and everyone up at 8-yard line. It's not that they're trying to stop the run; they just know that Fitzpatrick will not throw it.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
When you see these receivers blanketed in 8 yards, what's happening there is that their whole line. I counted it to you a couple times during the game and saying, look, there's 9 guys up at the line. There's 2 safeties, playing, to see if what's going to happen. But they're cheating. Those safeties are even cheating. When that ball gets snapped, they're not even backpedaling. They're standing still at 10 yards down the field because they know it's going to be a 10-yard pass. And now you got a wide receiver that's totally blanketed because not only they're next to him, they're on the inside where the throw's going to go. So they're not even taken a position where if the receiver decides to go down the field that they'd be covering him because there's in front of him. So if a pump fake and long would seem like it would be open. The other part is that Watt, it looks like the real deal to me. I mean, he was putting pressure on him.
Sure, but it wasn't the type of pressure that we couldn't have gotten around. I mean, it's the type. We were blocking him pretty good.
I saw as soon as he's releasing the ball, he's getting hammered.
Sure, but you know what? The ball goes out. Chandler drops the ball. Stuff like that happens.
But you got to give them their due. I mean, there's a team 7-1. They're a Super Bowl contending team. They don't make a lot of mistakes. There weren't a lot of throws that you said, oh, he could have intercepted that. I don't remember any, really. Everything was safe. Even when at the end he finally threw a ball down the field and he underthrew it. If he would have cut it and caught it, I'm talking about Stevie Johnson, the one throw Fitzpatrick threw down the field.
Yeah.
He doesn't get anything underneath it. And Stevie, the guy was running pretty much stride for stride with him, but the safety was behind the play, and if Stevie would have came up, and he would have just got crushed. So, I mean, Fitzpatrick cannot throw the ball more than 20 yards down the field. His best throw down the field was probably over the middle to that tight end.
Right.
Maybe a 20-yard pass.
Now, and as much as the defense, I mean, Arian Foster got over 100 yards, Andre Johnson, but those are marquee players, so they get their due, like you said, and they do have success against every team. So in a way, our defense did show up to play. We did do better. We didn't do great. We didn't shut them down, but it's hard. No one really shuts that team down.
They had a 100-yard rusher. They had a 100-yard receiver. They didn't have 200 yards
or
receivers.
a 200-yard rusher.
200-yard rusher.
So
we're improving them that way. But
then the offense.
But the offense could have scored a couple of touchdowns and made it close, and maybe you're in a game. But we don't know how to win.
No. That's not it.
The Bills don't know how to win. They just don't know what they're doing.
Not good enough to win.
Well,
Fitzpatrick isn't good enough.
Yeah. Well,
what did we say at the end of the? What did we say at the end of the game? what was the words that came
dumb.
out of?
I thought he was dumb.
He's dumb.
I don't think. I mean, he's as smart as everyone says. This is such a hard offense. He doesn't throw the ball more than 10 yards down the field. There's 30 seconds left in the game this week, and he takes a sack. Why not just throw the ball, 50 yards into the end zone? Even after that, Spiller had the ball down at the 19 yards.
Yeah, we're in the red zone.
He takes a sack. I mean, throw the ball out of the end zone. You can throw. You flick your wrist. You be able to throw the ball 25 yards.
Can you?
Well, a pro football player should be able to do that. You just get rid of it. And even at the end, he's throwing 4-yard passes with 30 seconds left and no timeouts.
Terrible.
Take a couple of shots down the field. What difference does it make? You're down 21-9. You're afraid of getting intercepted. You're going to try to run the ball. And when he fumbled that ball on that last play, I don't know if anybody will show it, but maybe if we can get it on here. But if he would have gained 4 yards, what's the big deal? There's 30 seconds left. The clock would have ran out anyways. You don't even want to get. You don't want it. You'd rather just throw an incompletion.
Yeah, just stop the clock.
So to me, it's a rookie mistake. And the problem is, what rookie quarterbacks do when they get in trouble, they try to scramble their way out of it. He's not a rookie. He's a veteran. He's not going to scramble too many. He gets a couple, maybe gets a first down here and there, but you're not going to win the game on your legs. You're not RG3. So get rid of the darn ball. We had the ball inside the 24 times. How many times did we throw it in the end zone?
0 times.
0. I don't think they threw it in there once. They didn't even take a shot. Wayne Gretzky used to say.
No, I don't know.
Wayne Gretzky used to say 100% of the shots you don't take don't go in.
Right.
Take a shot down the field. Well, I mean,
we still lost. At the end of the day, we still lost. And you might say, hindsight, lounge chair quarterback or whatever you want to say. Yeah. But the point is, if you want to score a touchdown,
Monday morning quarterback club.
You throw it into the end zone. And if they're not doing that, they're not going to win. We're 3-5 now. We're going to be 3-6 after we go to New England and lose next week. We're going to be a 6-10 football team if we are good enough to make it that.
The Dolphins look pretty good. Indianapolis looks like a pretty good team.
I mean, the Jets going to beat us again.
Seattle.
Indianapolis is better. Seattle is going to beat us.
Seattle on the road in Toronto.
Who will we beat? Maybe we'll beat Miami one of those times. Yeah. Maybe.
Well, maybe we'll win 3 games, like you said. Maybe 4. If we're lucky, we'll be 7-9.
I'd rather be 3-13 than 7-9.
Aspire to a Dick Duran season. I mean, is this coach as good as Dick Duran?
They're the same. One was a little bit better at defense. This one's a little bit better at offense.
The same. What was his record? They showed it on the.
Oh, that's right. Duran's better. Yeah, Duran's better. 21-27 or something like that.
Duran.
He had 4 years.
Duran was 27-34. He was 7-9, 3 weeks, 3 in a row. They fired him at 3-6. So we had 20.
They fired him at 3-6. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. So they fired him at 3-6. But Gailey, his record was. What was he had doubled the wins? I think it was 13-26 is his record right now. Is what it was. He had doubled the number of losses to the number of wins. So he's 33% his winning percentages right now. He's terrible.
Yeah, I just don't see. I mean, even if you don't have, I know they say, you coach to the strengths, or it seems to me we coach to the weaknesses because we can't throw deep. We throw everything between 5 and 6 yards. Another thing too, I understand that this is a good defense we played, but our best players are these running backs. Let's run that ball. The best play was that draw play that got us right inside the 10-yard line. Then, whatever it was, a penalty or...
Jerry Sullivan wrote an article. He says, how do you say it? Employ your will against the other team, or implement your will against them. Show them that you can run the ball down their throat. You got 2 running backs. They're probably 2 of the best running backs in the league. Some national... paper this week said that Spiller is probably the best overall player in the league, as far as running and catching the ball, offensive player. And yet you have a quarterback that's averaging 4.29 yards an attempt. That's like including all his incompletions and everything, every attempt. And they're running the ball averaging 5 point something. So last week against the Titans, they had 35 passes and 19 rushes. I don't know what the number was today, but just hand the ball off to these guys. Let them run the ball down their throats. I don't know if there's any solution. The defense played a little bit better. What about Mario Williams today?
I mean, he looked better. I saw him getting a lot of push. He got the sack. He did some pressure. I mean, they looked better.
Who was the best guy on the defense today? Probably that Kyle Williams.
Well, I mean, he put some push. He was, and they weren't doing bad. Same thing with our offense. That J.J. Watt, like you said, he's a great player, but there's ways to get around that. You just run to the other way, and we could have done a little bit more. I think Gailey is working with a 3-page playbook, and we're doing the same plays. And Wanstead is coaching this team dumb. They're getting dumber and worse as the weeks go on, it seems.
Yeah, they played just good enough to lose again today. They didn't impose their will. They didn't shove it down their throats, and they seem like they get burned sometimes on these like reverse plays today. It wasn't reverse, but there was like play action and then
there's 3 of those.
Bootleg to the opposite side,
touchdown,
the touchdown pass. He did that like 3 times, and it was like wide open.
And I guess we could say that Gilmore is not. He might not be a bust. You don't say that in 8 weeks, but what he is you shouldn't have drafted him.
Yeah. So let's go with what Nick said this week. Buddy Nick says, before I leave here, I'm going to draft a franchise quarterback and leave you guys with a franchise quarterback. So they're going to draft a quarterback. And the reason why we didn't pick RG3 or trade up to get Cam Newton in the past was because
too many holes.
We have too many holes. We have to fill these needs. And what do? They pick a cornerback with their first. Now they picked Cordy Glenn. I think it was a pretty darn
smart
good
pick, sure.
pick, But other than that, what really is out there? Today I was asking Nate. I was looking through some pictures on the Bills website. Who's 52? Moats. I thought he was going to be a great linebacker. He barely sees the friggin' field. And these linebackers,
they're out of position. The line is doing good.
The line seems like their job really is to hold those linemen up and create these gaps, not only for your own linebackers to get in there and fill those gaps, and it just their linebackers just don't seem to do it. They seem to always be out of position in the wrong gaps. They're filling the wrong gaps.
And that's what they say. They're out of position. They're not consistent enough, and these sort of things. But it seems like the linebackers are the weakest point, and then you have rookie cornerbacks. Williams out. He looked terrible when he got injured. I was like, oh, well, you know what? Sorry to see that you're injured, but you played terrible. You're letting one of the best receivers run all over you. And if Gilmore is supposed to be so good, then why isn't he on him more?
Yeah, we're about 3rd and 2 with about 8 minutes left. We want to get the ball back.
Yeah, he's 12 yards off him.
12 yards off him on a 3rd and 2. What is that all about?
The strands of hair off his dreadlocks are bigger than his arms. He can't tackle Andre Johnson.
Well,
he's a skinny little puke out there.
Well, you know what? I don't want to. I
hate to badmouth him.
He's a luxury pick. You hope that you get him into your lineup and he starts to get better. I don't know if he's ever going to be that Revis, but he's definitely better than the other kid that
Aaron Williams. Williams. But the thing is, you when you let's say you're a playoff team the year before, then you come in, you have a draft pick in the 20s. You pick a cornerback because you want to put him at nickel, and then you want him to be good on the outside in 2 or 3 years.
You give him the chance to mature, and he's not out there on an island. You don't expect him to make the big plays. But here, we got rid of the other cornerback early. I thought Drayton Florence was a good cornerback. He's a veteran presence. You can learn from it. The time's not up on there.
And we should at least. I don't know. I think Tavares Jackson could throw some of those 4-yard passes. I mean, who gives a shit now?
Well, they're saying if it's so complicated that he can't figure out that everyone's running 10 yards and doing a button hook. I mean, what's up with that? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we're looking forward to next week. I mean, looking forward to it because it's forward, not looking forward to the loss, which will occur.
It's better than a bye. I keep telling Nate, I want to just get my Sundays back. And if I could just enjoy them. Is there something else I can do? Rake the leaves or shovel or something on Sunday instead of watching these guys?
Well, we'll be shoveling soon, it looks like. Yeah. And, we're going to be going out to New England, and the Bills are going to lose next week. Now, they played better. They played better today, but they played as good as they lost.
Nate,
so that's just how it
is. Better compared to 2 500-yard games where 2 200-yard receivers and 2 200-yard runners in a row is better than 45-3. but 21-9 is still a typical loss, and that's the type of game that a playoff team wins. They grind it out. They win it. It's not, they beat the spread. They won by 11 points. So
there
it's
you go,
not
Vegas.
it's not like they blew us out. I mean, but they beat the spread. They beat us by 11 points. The game was never really in question.
Yeah.
We kept it close, but we never really went for the jugular and did anything to win the game. So it's not. There's no moral victories.
Well,
I guess anything's better than the 31st defense in the league. This week we probably weren't the 31st, but we gave up a 100-yard rusher and a 100-yard receiver. So
sure.
I imagine our stats couldn't have improved too much this week. I mean, so what did we gain? I don't know. Nothing.
Well, we're not going to be very good this year, and that's fact. And this year we might actually pick a quarterback in the draft. Doesn't seem like there's that many to pick.
But even
from.
if you do, what's he gonna do for next year? What's the bottom line? Should we get rid of Buddy Nix and Chan Gailey, start all over from scratch? They're talking about on the news this week to pick up Bill Polian. He wants to get back in football, but it comes at a price, and the price is his son's got to come along with him, Chris Polian, wherever he goes. He said he wants to hire his son.
I saw the bathrooms at Ralph Wilson Stadium. They're very dirty.
Yeah.
No.
She's got something
hey,
to
that
do.
would be fine. But the thing about it is they fire Wanset, they come back, they draft a quarterback. Who knows?
Yeah.
You never know. I mean,
well, the bottom line is the only general manager in the history of the Buffalo Bills that had any idea of what he was doing has been Bill Polian. They fired Butler shortly after him. I don't know how much of that was a carryover from what Polian did, but you find one guy that can do the job, and maybe he's a little bit old and that day has come, but he can't do any worse than these guys.
And here we are. So, as we move forward, we'll
positive
talk to you later.
And negative Nick and positive Pete. We got something good to talk about. We'll show you the shot of Spiller, but all right, we'll see you next week.
Okay. Go Bills, I guess.
Go Sabres if it ever comes. I don't know if we're ever going to get some hockey, but they've been meeting very late into the night the last week or so. Hopefully we'll get to see some Sabres soon.
Alrighty.